Hey guys, this is Allison from Allykatkreations. How are you? Like, share, and subscribe using the Amish mindset. And if you get anything from my work, an epiphany, a connected dot, a new author to read, a new book to explore, please consider supporting my work, supporting me and my move. All the links will be in the description box below. Still have no updated news. I signed the I don't know what it's called, closing agreement, deal, shammy shit. So annoying. All this while, 6 planets are in retrograde, and today I'm going to do an episode of Spiritual Soul Advice. I wanted to go live for this, but it is a work week, and yeah. So I've been getting a lot of messages from people, my friends, which I love, and acquaintances, who feel it. They're in it. They're like, what the hell is going on with me? Oh, there is a hell of a lot going on. So I figured doing an episode on discussing what each planet is dealing out on top of what I'm feeling and what's going on, we can come together and do this work together. I haven't done oracle cards. I might pull some later for the collective. The reason is it's spirit needs everybody really to focus on the work right now. And what's really being focused upon is inner trauma, fears, and overcoming these traumas, patterns, whatever have you. Wait for the pause there. Phone. Spirit basically was giving me the impression that a lot of the inner work that we all have to do, I've been doing it for quite a while now, and I'm on the heavy set of my challenges and lessons for my soul growth. And a lot of when I'm going to read what the planets are doing, it makes a hell of a lot of sense for me on why I'm going through this tumultuous time. Also, the Schumann Resonance was in blackout for a few days. Now, what does that, Allison, have to do with anything? Oh, it has to deal with a lot. Yeah, my hair is ridiculously long. When it is in blackout, there's a couple of things that it could be doing. It could be a technical glitch in the system, the way it's read. I have an app. So I have this like really cool app. It was stuck on September 6th forever. It feels like it's forever. And it's a heartbeat in the pulse of the earth. And I'm just going to expand it so you see it. So it started reading back up on the 13th, but we didn't see anything. So these white spikes are where we're getting our ascension codes, and Earth is giving out a lot of frequency to aid us, in my opinion. what we need. And then we had a mini blackout this morning. And we're starting to receive these little white outs over here, these white lines. And that's earlier, and now we're almost the next day. We're still getting these whites. So down here is like the pulse of the earth, and here's the frequencies coming. I notice when we get these white spikes, I get really tired. It's affecting me heavily. And being on top of the retrograde, 6 planets being retrograde, it does affect us because we're already like feeling the cosmic energy, and now we're feeling like the Schumann resonance going berserk. And no, I'm not an astrologer. I'm just feeling and picking up, and I feel really bad. There's a lot of people going through a really tough time right now. I'm one of them. So the 6 planets in retrograde are Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, and Mercury, and they're all heavy hitters. Mercury is the least and the most known because everybody knows that we're blaming everything on Mercury retrograde when it comes to communication, technology, all the shit that fails, doesn't work. I had it the other day. I did a Zoom oracle reading with a friend in New Mexico, and let me tell you that dropped off. And I mean, there's other factors to that, but it took a bunch in order for us to be able to communicate. So Pluto is heavy changes, major heavy changes, and it's retro in Capricorn. And that started on April 29th of this year, and it's going to end very shortly, October 8th. This is where a lot of people are sitting in right now, where you have to face your shadow self and you have to face your fears. The fear of the unknown, the fear of what ifs. Fear is real, and fear is what the evil like. They love to eat the loosh. They love when you are in fear because they gain their substance energetically. I'm going through very heavy changes and a major life change. I sold my house. Now what is the fear? It's not really for me fear. It's more of this anxiety and stress of, I don't know when this is going to happen. Yeah, I sold my house, great, but now when is the closing date? When am I able to get the hell out of here? How am I getting out of here? How am I paying for it all? If I have to do anything beforehand, because again, my situation is I can't do anything because I am depleted, completely completed, until those checks are cleared in my accounts. And then I'm off to the other state where I would like to, purchase another property for way cheaper. And if they're available by the time I sell, because, I'll leave and all this closes because I can't put a mortgage on a house. I don't have income. I can't do many things, how most people would be doing it because I have nothing. And I'm not paying 25 times the interest rate on anything. I think that's ridiculous. So Pluto is slowly coming to a close, but not just yet. And what a lot of my people, my friends, my acquaintances are going through right now is just a lot of their own changes. A lot of people change jobs, locations. They're starting to wake up to the paradigm that's shifting. They're starting to sort of like question what really is going on with our government, with the truth. And that does spring on a lot of fear. And as a planetary consciousness on a whole, our whole entire planet is going through major changes. We're seeing still a lot of weather events that are occurring in other countries, here as well in the United States. We're seeing a lot of governments collapse. We're seeing a lot of changing of the old guard to a new guard, and sometimes that is an illusion to itself. Remember, people capitulated in 2018, so look out for who capitulated. And if their flags are wrinkled, whoo-hoo, know what that is. Next planet, Saturn. It keeps us in check. We need to organize. And right now in the retrograde, we're not organized. Things are not too much in check. And we have to keep ourselves emotionally in check. We need to keep lists or a calendar, a written one. Write down, because again, if we're in Mercury retrograde and you're writing your list on your phone and something happens to your phone or shit does occur, your list is gone. So always write things down with intention on a piece of paper so that you can go back and go, oh shit, make sure you know your passwords to things. Organize your life. But retrograde, this Saturn retrograde is in Aquarius, which is June 4th to October 23rd. So that also next month, by the end of the month, will be back. Saturn will be back and going forward. So it is still keep telling us to keep in check, keep organized. But right now, many people are not there. On my end, I'm trying to be as organized as possible. But I had to pack a lot of crap away. And now that I thought I was going to be out of here way sooner than I am now, I'm like, I just packed all my winter clothes because I needed to pack things. I didn't have paper or packing material, bubble wrap and stuff. So I used my clothes. We'll see how that works out. I laugh because whatever. But this also has to do with commitments, understanding boundaries. Are there things in your daily life that you're committed to that all of a sudden you don't want to be committed to? Are you setting your boundaries? Are you allowing people to piss you off? Are you not respecting other people's boundaries? It's one thing to have your boundaries set. It's another when you're crossing onto somebody else's boundaries. So we really need to be aware of our boundaries. And we need to be aware of others. And if we have a question about it and that person's open, just ask them, am I crossing a line? I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Right? We want to have clear communication because, again, Mercury and Saturn deal with communication, understanding others and other selves. That's within Mercury, but that goes in with our commitments and our boundaries. So we need to check in with ourselves and with those that we love and that we communicate with if things are on the up and up. And if they're not, just tread the water lightly and communicate. The next planet is Neptune, ruler of dreams, messed up sleep state, ground energy and get creative. I can't tell you beyond the Schumann Resonance that's either wanting to work or not. Neptune is retrograde. Our sleep cycles are off. Our dreams are all over the place. We need to ground that energy. So Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. It happened June 28th and it goes to December 3rd. Acknowledge spiritual and emotional truths. This is a heavy one. I had another friend who I love dearly, who's an empath, knows she's an empath, but she's really super religious. And she can't separate or differentiate two paradigms, because the religious people look at the spiritual people as Satan worshipers, depending on what religion you're following. But they can't ignore the fact that they know what they're feeling, seeing, and observing and taking in. They know that that realm exists tangibly for them. So right now we have to really come into a focus, and this is happening with also planetary wide, that there is a lot of emotional and spiritual truths coming to surface that we all must deal with. There's a lot of evil that has been in a lot of religions, not just the major three. In every one of them, there has been infiltration. There has been evil. Even the spiritual community. No one is your guru. You're your own guru. Everybody's at their own pace of learning. There are people who have a lot more experience and that are seasoned and that we can call master. But we don't idolize people like that, and we should never idolize anybody. We're all equal. We're all one and the same. So the ego self has to tame itself. Ego is good because ego keeps you in your defense, in your flight or fight. You need to have that, and it also builds your character. But when you overexert your ego and inflate it, like a lot of people do, that becomes a problem. But we're really now seeing on a large scale that a lot of people are now coming to understand the truths of religion and of what has happened to our society through the negative polarity, aka Satan's playground. So a lot of inner turmoil is happening, and that is really what we need to start grounding our energy and being creative. So when I get through this, I'll talk about what I feel a lot of people need to do, or gives us really suggestions to move forward here. Jupiter. Growth and abundance is usually what Jupiter is all about. Going backwards and being stalemate. Writing down your goals. Jupiter is retrograde in Aries and Pisces. So, stupid flies in my house. On the charts, it's dipping in between Pisces and Aries. Jupiter will go forward into Aries. Or I think it's going to do Pisces a little bit more, and then it might go into Aries, which is really good for Aries. So go Aries, go! I'm in that. I need it bad. And that happened July 28th to November, and it will go until November 24th. Jupiter is really about personal growth and expansion of mind. Now, a lot of us feel in that stalemate position where, you know, for me, heavy changes and major ones are coming from Pluto. I have to keep myself organized, and things don't seem organized because of my move, and it's like a clusterfuck in my house. My sleep is off because I'm stressed out. And I'm eating still once a day, so I'm not able to nourish myself properly to get the fuel and the energy to keep my circadian rhythm in a proper state. And in Jupiter, I will eventually have growth and abundance, but right now I feel like everything's being held up. Like nothing is moving forward. Everything is just where it is, and I have to deal with it because it's out of my control. And a lot of people are feeling very similar to like not necessarily in my circumstances, but they're feeling it emotionally in a very similar way. Writing down, again, not just your lists, but your goals and what you would like to achieve. Making sure that even if you feel like you're going backwards, you're still putting action into motion to have a cause and effect to overcome the stalemate. So maybe right now, and the next planet will tell you why. Patience. This all bundles into each other. But if you feel like things are not, they're stagnant, they're not moving forward, it's because we're in Jupiter retrograde, and I'll get into Uranus in a second. But write down your goals, be it positive, and start putting those motions into action. They might not manifest right away, but eventually, when a lot of this energy kind of leaves, things will start to happen slowly, because we do have shadow periods with all the retrogrades. So there is a shadow period and then it goes direct. Uranus, it shuffles up everything. It's like, here, you're comfortable. Fuck you. And turns everything upside down on its head. Expect the unexpected. And this is now inner work and introspection. Uranus retrograde in Taurus, August 24th through January 22nd next year. Change doesn't happen overnight. Patience. So at this time, not only do we have facing your fears, facing your shadow self, healing the trauma that is coming up from inside of you, and now with Mercury, it's past things like childhood trauma, a bad relationship trauma. They're all coming to surface right now. And it's like, shh, you need patience. Hi. I'm spinning it upside down because you were making progress, and now I'm going to hold it up for you a little bit. So it's shuffling. Uranus is really shuffling a lot of these things in. And just like Pluto, we need to go inside of ourselves and do the work. You have to heal those wounds and fears. There are a lot of people stuck because they can't. Change doesn't happen overnight. Changing your mindset takes a lot of work. It's stopping and recognizing when you're in fear or when something gets you anxious. Ask yourself in those moments, why, if you can catch it in time, why am I triggered? Analyze the situation. Why am I triggered? Okay, this happened to me, but why did it happen to you? Some things are out of your control. Like my situation was very much out of my control. And I tried every which way and every other pathway that I could think of. I didn't have too many heads to bounce off of to talk about my situation with. So the advice that I got was what I was taking. Everything, it was external for me that I needed to deal with and figure out how am I going to get through it, even though I'm not the cause directly to it. So we're really being asked to go inside. And, for myself, I just have to come to the acceptance that this is my soul growth. I need immense change. I need a new place to live. I need a new atmosphere. I need new people surrounding me. I need a better outlook on life. And I can't do that when I'm stagnant in a position that I didn't ask to be in the first place. So I put the steps in motion to get myself out of my situation. It's just taking too long. And Uranus is like, hi, you need patience, honey. So I'm hoping as I'm talking and going through my own experience, you're applying your situation and seeing how I'm taking and looking at this and analyzing what to do and how to move forward. Mercury retrograde in Libra and Virgo. So it's now going into 2 planets just like Jupiter. September 9th to October 2nd, which is the shortest one of the retrogrades. It's also about having compassion, Amish mindset, understanding others and oneself. So here again, we need to just look at how we're communicating at other people. Not only just, looking at the car, the technology, making sure the emails sound and make sense. I think today I have dyslexia. So my dyslexic moment happened like 4 times where I wrote something, read it, it sounded perfect in my head, but then I reread it verbally and it made 0 sense. So I had to go back and edit it to make it make sense. But if you're one of those people that don't have dyslexia and just or speed typing, just be mindful and reread in whatever way that you have to proofread your stuff, do that. Be more cognizant of it for this time period. Sometimes you might say something and intend something else and someone takes it way off to left field. So just be really mindful of how you are communicating to others, understanding and putting up boundaries again, where it's Saturn and Mercury, where we have commitments and understanding boundaries of others, but knowing your boundaries. Do you have boundaries? Are you just a say yes person, or are you always saying no? Are you not letting people in? Because your wall is built so thick that you're not, because you're traumatized, that you're not allowing new people to come into your life. Or are you always letting everybody in and walking on you like a doormat? Make sure you set on a piece of paper what you don't like that other people do to you, and what you can do and what steps you can do to overcome it. Well, if I started saying and learning how to say no to people in a nice way, you don't have to be like an asshole. If someone invites you out and you're just not feeling it and you're just not feeling their vibe, you don't have to say it in a rude way. Again, Mercury. Just say, no, I have other things to have to do first. This is a priority for me. I'm really sorry. Maybe next time. Be respectable. Be honest. I can't with these flies. I really can't. So how do we function with the Schumann resonance, the time leap that might have happened? So there might have been a lapse in time, because if we notice the days are getting really sped up, I don't even know what day of the week it is sometimes. And then put in conjunction all the planets retrograding. We're on a emotional roller coaster. Would I not say that would be correct? I have co-host over here. See, there she is. I would say each and every day, ground your energy. Look up some really good affirmations that can help you get through each and every day. Live in the here and the now. Live in the day. Take everything by day. Because if we project too much forward and the timelines are changing, we might not be manifesting the highest of our good. We might manifest something that isn't in our best interest or that leaves. And it's not that it's a waste, but you don't want to get trapped there either. Spirit, what can we give to the collective for these 6 planets in retrograde? What advice? What advice can we give to everybody? One more. Stay strong, be a guiding light, ground yourself, beloved. And I was just talking about that. Seriously, just talking about this. We have to ground our energy. How do we ground our energy? We could, sorry guys, I'm looking for a few other decks that I had. Where did they go? So how do we ground our energy? Be the guiding light. Many of us know what's going on, know about the retrogrades, and should be able to help people that aren't as knowledgeable on these topics and things to be a guiding light, to kind of explain to them, touch a tree. You don't have to hug it if you don't want to, but transmute your negative thinking into something positive. If you're working out the trauma, your fears, the things that are holding you back. You know, when I mention to people, you know, stop making excuses for things. I mean, and a lot of things that we make excuses for are tangible things that really do affect us, whether it be our health, our physical conditions, workplace conditions, relationships, whatever have you, and insert your situation there. There are things that are outside of our control that we can't help, but we can help how we react to them. And you know, when I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, I thought it was really the end of the world because I couldn't pick a pen up. I couldn't pick a paintbrush up. I couldn't do anything. And I changed my mindset to say, okay, so what are we doing today that I can start getting in a better habit of thinking? How can I maneuver around something? How can I reteach myself how to do something where I'm not hurting myself? And it took a very long time for me to adapt and to move around obstacles that I thought I couldn't get around. But after a while, I found a way to adapt my physical vehicle, my pain, my suffering, my everything, and to move around something where I could still get to the end goal. Sometimes we have to learn to live with what we have and not let it affect us. And through all of these, we're pushing our boundaries in a healthy manner by doing that. It's not to say hurt yourself or to put yourself through more torture, but it's how do you go on living and being productive in life if you're setting all these things that you can't do? Well, what can you do, and how do we move forward to get there? You know, see with your heart. The time is now to hear the message. Morgan agrees. She's looking at you guys. At the end of the day, what's here? What is your heart saying? All your decisions should come from your heart. Not necessarily. They need to be connected in conjunction with each other, but if they're not, how do you move forward? What do you do? We're in tricky times. You have to use your heart. You have to go within. You have to balance your energy. You have to come to neutrality with everything. The way is clear. Awaken to the power within you. So what is that power that's within you? Things aren't going to happen overnight. Right now, things are going to kind of be on the slower side. I have to remind myself this every day because I have no money in the bank. I have bills that are due. I have to figure out how am I overcoming this obstacle? And I can't do that in a space where I'm all chaotic and I'm upset and I'm driving myself nuts. I have to know I have to be patient. Dire circumstances, you learn patience. A lot of people need to learn that. I struggle with it every day. And then I have to prioritize what comes first. But then I make my lists and I write everything out. I have my goals. What do I want? What do I want to achieve? In the moment, in the here and the now, it's okay. Making a decision, am I staying in my house and paying these people rent? Then get a mover, get a storage facility in another state, save myself some money by having to do double storage, and just staying here, even though I'm not going to be happy with that, that might be a cheaper option for me. Because I made them put it in the contract that it would be prorated. So if I only stay a week after this the closing of the house and I get the money hitting my bank account, I'm out. I'm out. And now I would only have to worry about a long stay hotel and a storage facility. So I'm only getting movers to go in one direction, not having to go, well, me having to do a lot more work where my back doesn't work. So those are the things that I'm being challenged with to think about and to set what would be in my best interest and what is my heart saying. And how much trauma do I want to put my cats through? They don't like those carriers. And I'm trying to feed them every day in the carriers or putting the food on the outside. So they're getting used to the fact that the carrier is not a bad thing. So not being so stubborn as to what the truth is. There is no real knowing the truth. There's a truth within your heart. But apparently there is a lot of things going on television, tell a lie vision with programming that is starting to flip the script. And if you're catching that flip script, you're starting to question a lot. And don't be scared. There are plenty of people out here in the ether who are willing to sit you down and kind of go over the nuts and the bolts of what has happened to not only the United States, but the rest of the world and what is actually happening behind the scenes that you're not privy to because you have no time to do the research. But there are people that can explain these things to you. Go within and find your inner peace. Problems resolve when you listen to your inner self. I mean, this is what these retrogrades are making us do. We have to do the inner work. We want to ascend. We want to get to the highest of our timeline. we have to go within. We have to confront what is scaring us, our fears, write them down, have pro and con lists. These are excellent things to do regardless of retrograde or not. What are the pros of a situation? What are the cons? Write it out. Relationship, job, people at the job, whatever it is, write it down and then think, is this a place that I am going to commit to stay to? Is this a place, this is what I was doing, trying to figure out where I'm moving. Where would I go where I'm going to be happy? And then it took me months to figure that out. And I had a few states picked out. And then all of a sudden the real estate is going up and down and up and down. And a lot of the places I want to go, now things are raising back up. Or there's not enough of what I'm looking at anymore because it's flying off the shelf. So where, you know, I have to have multiple options. So also keep yourself opened. Don't put one, you know, all your eggs in one basket. You know, be open to maybe having to change your plans. What goes around comes around. So if you're putting the good energy out, it's going to come back to you eventually. If you're putting the negative crap out, the negative stuff is going to come to you. Life never ends. Spirit endures all. Truth. So, you know, we got to use, you know, wherever, I know a lot of people may or may not, depending on who's watching me, know their charts. But Jupiter being in Aries, which is the first house, and Pisces, and they're swapping off. I mean, it's a great time for personal growth and expansion, and not just expansion physically, it's also mentally. Are you expanding your consciousness? Are you exposing yourself to new information? Are you studying or have new interests? Don't, because it might not be what the norm is looking at or interested in. Go for it. Look into it. Everybody's into something special and unique. Stop going around with the trends. It's not healthy. Definitely not healthy. You know, we do need patience. And you need to have better understanding right now, especially when it comes to communicating. People's intentions when they are typing are not the same when they're in your person's talking to you. Sometimes things come across the wrong way. And then it becomes a heated argument where it's like, no, I'm trying to help you, but you're taking it the wrong way. I'm just trying to help, you know, and sometimes people ask for help and they don't want to hear it. That happens too. So just be aware that, you know, you might have people projecting negativity on you, or just let it go. It's not worth it. Let it go. Ignore it. Sometimes some of the people in your life you have to ignore and just kind of release. And that's another thing about the retrogrades. It's what is no longer serving you. And this is in totality now. There's a lot of people going through divorces. There's a lot of people moving. There's a lot of people doing a lot of big major things, which is Pluto. Major things are happening to a lot of people. I know for myself, I'm making major changes in my life. I'm going through a complete transformation. And you can see that by the lack of maybe pulling cards. You know, it's not easy. I am curious about my true nature. I seek to understand myself. This is perfect. I teach people how to treat me. Here's boundaries. Sometimes people don't have boundaries or know where your boundaries are, so you have to teach them boundaries. Every day, I bring radical self-love to my mind, body, and spirit. And we need to embrace that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's in your life, you have to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't persevere through your challenges, no matter what they are. I'm all by myself, and I love myself immensely. I'm still here, persevering through very difficult times, knowing I really don't have too many people that have my back. And I'm making it work to the best of my ability. You know, so we really need to focus on what these 6 retrogrades are doing, what the Schumann Resonance is doing now that it's back online. It's been calm, but with little spikes. How is it affecting you? Write it down. Make a list. It's important to know how you're feeling, and it's important to see, sometimes charting down where you're starting to get angry, where are you starting to get tired, what point of the day do you feel drained? Then the next day, if it keeps repeating in a cycle, break the cycle. Go, okay, well, maybe I'm eating here. Maybe I should move the time so I have more energy after I eat to do more work. Or I feel sleepy at this time. Maybe it is okay for me to take a nap if you're not working, or, you know, rewrite your schedule if you have that within your means to do so. Sometimes when you shift your schedule around, things start also happening for more of the positive. You know, sometimes, you know, people get in a routine, which routines are really good, but sometimes you need to break the routine because another routine might start forming, and that might be better for you. And for those of you who are not used to me pulling cards, I talk the intention into the cards using usually my voice or my mind, asking spirit, what does the collective need to hear? Then I spread the cards out, and then I feel the vibration on which one wants me to pick it. Truth. See your light. Know your power. Have the courage to walk your truth. Abundance. Hey, Jupiter. When your heart's intention is to serve humanity, doors of abundance naturally open. Amish mindset. What are you abundant in that you could share with others today? Amish mindset. When you do good for others, whether it be a like, a share, a subscribe, a repost, donating, giving things away that you don't no longer need because they don't serve you anymore, that other people, they need it, it clears up your energetic field, and it's helping another person that is in lack. Abundance does not necessarily mean financial all the time. Magnificence. You are amazing, magnificent, and unique. But most importantly, you are enough. And yes, you are enough. In everything that's happening to everybody, all the feelings, all the emotions, the moon, the tides, everything ebbs and flows. Everything is cyclical. Sometimes people are stuck in a negative cyclical pattern. And sometimes it takes a major change that sometimes the universe causes for you to shake shit up. Hello, little face. Now I'm going to get with my sassy deck here. The Rebel deck. Has an odd smell to it. Very weird. So yeah, the retrogrades, the planets and everything. So we're all emotional. Please hang in. Please hang in. It's very important that you stay strong and you have a strong will to get through whatever you're going through. Nothing is easy. And if it's easy, you're not getting challenged. Life is about challenges and lessons and things that you go out into the world and you're the teacher and you're the student at the same time. So be creative. Even if that's taking an adult coloring book out, you're having a really bad day. Oh, you want to take people's faces off. You want to kick in doors, key, smash windows, whatever have you. Take an adult coloring book, even if it's with crayons, and color. It calms you down, gets you to focus. And for those of you who are working on brain, like your right and your left brain, color with the opposite hand. That's challenging. You want a challenge? Woo! Use your other hand to write and to color. On my end, not so much, but I'm ambidextrous, but my left is a lot weaker than my right. You know, go out into nature, take a walk around the, you know, if it's safe, take a walk around the block. Sit in your backyard if you have one, go to a park, you know, go to the zoo, even though I'm not a fan of the zoos, but zoos do save animals in certain ways. Of course, we want to see them in nature and thrive, but that's just humanity is not ready for that just yet. In some countries, it happens already. Let's see if Morgan wants to eat the cards. Are you picking a card out for everybody? You want this one? Okay, that goes. Morgan picked a card out for everybody. Now, these are very sassy. There's profanity on them, so please, I will cover up the profanity. Don't talk to anyone. Don't look at anyone. You need some effing time alone, and you know why. I'm covering up the bad word. So many people right now might be heavily affected by all this energy. This is really good advice. Go into hermit mode, read a book, distract yourself from the things that you can't control. Sometimes looking and distracting yourself calms your energy centers down. Kind of, yeah, this sucks. I have to think about how I'm going to deal with this in a better mental state. And sometimes when you're in it to want to break shit up, just go hermit mode. You need some effing yoga in your life. And I don't have to necessarily say yoga, but ancient shit is cool. If you're not a yoga fan, dancing, stretching, Pilates, bar, whatever, move your body. Even when you're cleaning, if you know you just want to wiggle and jiggle, who cares? No one's there to judge you, and if anybody is there to judge you, make better effing choices. If you are pissed at where you are, then stop taking yourself there. Okay, that is like the bluntest advice. That's like all these retrogrades really telling you the real spiel here is making better choices. Because if you're getting upset and angry at the same situation, thinking it's going to get better, sometimes it does and sometimes it really doesn't. If you're with an abusive person, whether it be at the workplace, whether it be a relationship, whether it be family members, and you're not removing yourself out of those situations, then what good is making anything better? Sometimes you have to take what no longer serves you and kick it to the curb. I had to do that with all the furniture in my house. I had to do that with a lot of belongings. I had to think about, what am I donating? What am I giving away? What am I throwing out? Because it no longer serves me. What do I need this stuff? I'm not having a kid. You know, maybe somebody with a kid could use what I have, right? So you can apply to any of the situations that you have. You are giving away your power. You're a badass. Act like it. Stop giving away your power. Because you are giving away your power. When you're in this planetary mucky shit. Retrogrades are not easy. We all, everybody kind of jokes about the Mercury retrograde. It's not really funny when you're working on a paper or you're working on something very serious and then the lights go out or you lose your internet service and everything you just worked on wasn't saved. You're talking to a friend and you're just trying to be the best person you can be for them, and they're taking your advice the wrong way because they're seeing another version of what you're trying to speak about, and it sucks because you're trying to help and obviously it's not helping. So you have to reset yourself. You have to go in and know what you're fearing. What are you anxious about? Really start changing your mindset, catching yourself in those moments, getting yourself back into a neutral position and saying, okay, I got to look at both ends, the pros and the cons. Now, how do I work to go neutral? Especially when dealing with other people. What is no longer serving you? Whether it be fears, whether it be, changing it up. If things are not working in the right order for you, clear it away and reset. Throw out what's no longer serving you. And those changes, Pluto again, is not easy. These are very difficult changes. Like for me, I don't have anybody to pick my ass up if I fall. It's just me. I don't have a husband to lean on. I have no one to lean on. It's just me. So just picking up and going to a new place, not knowing anybody and hoping it works out is my last stance. But I'm going to make my mindset that it is going to work, that it will be okay. And that I'm going to put all the positivity into it and not the negative. Because it didn't work out here. I couldn't get a job here. I wasn't very welcomed or treated nicely here. I only had a few friends that helped me, and a lot of people that I thought were my friends left me. But I'm still going to be there for them when the truth and everything comes out. That'll be able to help them understand why they saw me as evil. So write in the comments, How has these retrogrades been affecting you? What is coming up for you? Is there a lot of trauma that needs to be healed? A lot of them, I mean, this is deep, heavy emotional shits. This is not like a slap on the wrist. This is like a whole smackdown on your body. This is like the Mack truck hitting you, right? This is not, none of this is easy. And it's not supposed to be. We're in a very tumultuous time. We're ending the old. What no longer serves us in humanity is leaving, whether you like it or not. And we're moving along with a positive timeline. You have to make sure that you're on that ride, on the roller coaster, like everybody else, trying to go with the ebb and the flow and trying to find your place in this humanity. Where you're not sitting in fear, you're not going to let anybody dictate to you how to feel and what to think. You're not going along with all your friends. If they feel like it's like the bully scenario. Are you going to be the one that opens your mouth when you see something that's not right? Or you're going to shut up because everybody is laughing and going along with it? Be the light that you're supposed to be in this world. Know that your situation will pass. Change your mindset, make some lists, go out in nature, ground, read a book. Sometimes you need a nap. Sometimes you need a Snickers. No one's judging here. Sometimes you do little changes each day. You live in the moment and not necessarily for the future. You live day to day. Start implementing things that are going to help you. There's plenty of people that have amazing information on self-help, on changing your mindset. You know, maybe you need to learn something. Maybe you're bored. There's a lot of people that might be bored that are just getting frustrated. They don't know what to do. Well, be creative. Maybe you should look into doing a new hobby if you can afford it, or even, you know, write. Get it out. I did a whole episode on journaling. Write about your dreams. Maybe there's messages being sent to you in dreams you're not aware of because you're not writing it down and you're not remembering in the moment. Be with your pets if you have them. Her card was good, by the way. We're going to get through this collectively as a whole, but a lot of people are, you know, just messaging me and asking me what's going on with the energies, what's going on. I feel so like I'm confused. I don't know what to do. I feel like the world is against me. Well, now it's like, how am I going to get the world to work with me? What can I implement on a daily basis to change my mindset, to look at all my options, weigh the pros and the cons, make lists? Sometimes you just need a break from your brain. Sometimes you're overanalyzing, overthinking, looking at something too much. And sometimes when you just take a break and put it on the shelf for a little bit, it's not going to go away. The problem doesn't go away. But instead of like taking the alcohol or, you know, smoking or doing something that, you know, I don't necessarily not agree with, people should do what they want, but try to be clean about it. It's going to be on that shelf. You will have to come and deal with it. But sometimes if we're at an impasse, distract yourself for a little bit and then come back and maybe think about it with a fresh new set of eyes. Seeing it in a different perspective. You know, it's always good to do affirmations, being in the attitude to have gratitude, guided meditations, work on your chakras. You know, maybe you got to switch up your routine every day. Maybe, you know, the routine that you keep for work, maybe, you know, when you get home, kind of switch it up a little bit. You know, maybe your morning routine, maybe you wake up 20 minutes earlier just to sit and be humble and happy and be in gratitude that you're alive and that you're going to make it through the day. You know, maybe once a day, make a list of, you know, goals. Set some goals for yourself. Where do you see yourself in a year? Where would you like to be in a year? What is it that you want to obtain? And try not to go on, of course, we all want to go on vacation. We all want to go and do something great with ourselves, but sometimes it's not thinking about those grander things. It's the small things that add up to the big things. It's maybe doing a new hairstyle or changing up the way you do your makeup if you're a woman, even if you are a man. And that's what, do you. Be happy, do you. Maybe change up your wardrobe. Maybe play around with things that, you know, just try and experiment. Be creative. These are the ways that we get out of our funk. Sometimes you just need a bubble bath and a candle. Or a cute little animal. Don't let them, don't, like, I had to sign a contract today, right? It took me forever to I reread it 12 times just to make sure that everything that was supposed to be in there was in there, that I understood it. And then, yeah, I kept thinking in the back of my head, it's Mercury retrograde. And then I'm like, okay, I got to let that go because life doesn't stop because there's a retrograde. We avoid certain things, yes, but you can't avoid life. If life comes at you and you got to sign shit, you sign it, right? But I just made sure I reread and understood everything. And I'm not a legal scholar. I have minimal understanding of the law. I'm learning. But I made sure that I knew that communication could be wonky, and I made sure that I understood before I signed anything, you know. So we're gonna get through this. Mercury's over next month. The 2nd, which is, you know, not too far away. I mean, it's a, you know, the next one is Pluto is going direct. So, you know, all those facing your shadows, working on the other side of yourself and those fears that are working out, you're October 8th, you can move forward. But if you don't heal your shadow self, if you don't confront your fears, they're going to keep resurfacing no matter if a planet is direct or not. So really do the work and really analyze yourself. What am I triggered with? Why is certain things triggering me? Why am I thinking so negatively? What is making me so feel this way? How can I change it? Saturn, a little later in October, will be going direct on the 23rd. And that's with commitments and understanding boundaries. You should always have boundaries, but you should also recognize that other people have boundaries too. Don't put up the brick wall, put up some plywood, put some holes in there so you can see, and learn how to give, and it's a give and take. You know, we all have non-negotiables in life, things that are absolutely but sometimes bending a little bit isn't a necessary evil. And Jupiter, all the way in November 24th, right around Thanksgiving, is when it goes direct. And anybody who has Aries and Pisces placements, wherever the house falls for you, it's going to affect that in a really good way. It's expansion, it's personal growth. So whatever house Aries and Pisces falls in your chart, it's going to expand. So get ready, buckle up, because you got 12 houses to deal with there. Next is Neptune, and that's in December. So acknowledge spiritual and emotional truths. We still have to work on that as a society. So no wonder why it's all the way later. Then Uranus, January 22nd. Change doesn't happen overnight. Be patient. Well, things will start picking up in speed and start happening. You know, you still need patience, but that's when that planet is direct. And right now it's in Taurus, which is an earth sign, which is why we need to ground. Big time. Yeah, that's the latest one. Is Uranus. So we don't have much longer with some planets. We have a little bit time to go with others. And then Chiron is in Aries. That's always in retrograde, and that's the wounded warrior. So facing that aspect as well, if you look at that, heal the lighthouse that you are, so that we can all move forward together and no one's being left behind. Again, it's the Amish mindset. We don't let anybody fail or fall. What are you abundant in that you can help in your local community and any community that you serve online? Spirit is still pounding me on that every day, that I'm not putting it out enough, but I'm not trying to annoy people either. This is how we grow as a society, by understanding, understanding, and spreading the wealth. And actually saying and meaning what you say. Putting action into motion with your words, not just saying, I'm going to pray for you, but actually pray for a person if you're doing that. If you're going to say you're going to do something, do it, because you're standing in your conviction. You know, shit does happen and people are very understanding, but if you're like the sheep's and wolf's clothing that keeps saying that you're going to do something, never happens, you know, that then, you know, people will respond to you the way that you deserve to be responded to. But I'm going to leave that here. I hope all of you enjoyed this, understanding what the hell is happening with the 6 planets in retrograde, a little bit of the Schumann resonance. We want to get to the highest and the best timeline that's positive for all of us, not just some of us. We all want to be up here. We all want to get to a good point. We want to be able to, this is a goal for everybody to set. Get up as far as you can possibly go. Circumstances suck, but we can all do this together. And when we do, the earth comes with us. Gaia, Terra, all of it comes with us. And things will manifest in a positive way. Things will happen faster. Better things will happen. More abundance will come for all of us if we all enable ourselves to see the lighthouse within and go within and do the work. Until next time, guys, I hope all of you have an amazing, incredible weekend. Sending each and every one of you love and light. If you would like to support my work and to support me, the links are in the drop box below. And I really do appreciate all of those who have donated to me thus far. You have kept me fed, even though I'm sinking in. You kept me going, and I do highly appreciate it. And I hope that it comes back to you tenfold. I'm going to try to kill some flies now. Have a great weekend, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.